Do you have the most hours days on DSMP? Oh, yes. Bro, it's not even remotely close. It's not even like remotely close. My hours on DSMP compared to everyone else, it is actually insane, bro. It is not even somewhat close. Not even remotely close. Everyone else's hours are not even remotely close to mine. DSMP still played on it, or no, it's not really played on it anymore. No one plays on it anymore. Every once in a while, I'll look at the server in my server list and be sad, but no. No, though, it is not even close, the number of hours. It's actually not even close, bro. Not even remotely close. It's not even somewhat close, bro. Not close whatsoever. None close. I think the closest person to me is Foolish, and he's behind me by multiple months. Over 200 days? It's well over 200 days. How many hours? I don't know. We could go check if y'all want. I don't care. One of those pieces is the long-time thing it can drive quickly. Honk is one of the big exceptions. I can only compare it to the German marketing community, and they do a big SMP at the end of the year where everyone gets together for a few months, and that happens every year until they reach a consensus to have a break and start all over again at the end of the year. Interesting. And Sam gets the award for least grass touched. True. The thing is that I feel like when the Dream SMP was like going every day, I was so like locked in on what was happening. Like, I guess I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. Let me think about how I'm going to explain this. There obviously is a difference, right, between like what the Dream SMP was for me versus what it was for you guys, right? And for me, the Dream SMP was a method to use something that I'm good at, right, which is Minecraft, to one, have an amazing time with lots of my friends, and I met a lot of people that I now consider good friends of mine through that, like through the SMP, through playing on the SMP. Like that's how I met a lot of those people. And so like I met a lot of people like through that. But the Dream SMP was different for me than it was for you guys, where for you guys, it was more like tune in for content. But I think I was different than a lot of other people as well on the SMP. And I think the way that I was different was that I had a kind of like love for the SMP and what it was, because I played on the SMP in the beginning, right? Like with Dream and George and them. And it was just like fun survival Minecraft vibes. It wasn't nearly what it was going to become, right? And when I came back, because I had school, and when I returned from school, the server had turned into this crazy thing. And I thought it was actually just so wonderful. And the story was like so epic, and like it was so easy for people to get into and to like love. And I loved that. And so the SMP for me was something completely different from everyone else. And you guys probably noticed this like throughout the time on the SMP. But like when I made my character on the SMP, I built my character in a way where my character was never going to have like his own story arc. He wasn't going to be the main character. And I was okay with that. Not only was I okay with that, I actively like sought that out, and I wanted that to be the case. And I instead focused all my like effort onto making epic things for the server, and to make epic things for other people to have their stories, and to try and tie them in a way where they could be mentioned in the story, right? Like Sam Bucket is a great example. Like the whole reason I did Sam Bucket was because I was in school. Like I was going to class every day. And so, you know, there was like 4 or 5 hours a day where I couldn't necessarily stream because I needed to be doing homework and that kind of thing. And so instead, I decided to make Sam Nook and be on Tommy's stream to help Tommy like produce his content, because Tommy is hilarious. And Tommy isn't someone that wants to just sit down and grind Minecraft, you know, necessarily. Like he isn't necessarily, ooh, pumpkins, big. We needed these. He isn't someone that just wants to necessarily sit down and grind Minecraft. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't want to grind to build the Big Internet Hotel. He didn't want to grind to do that, which is fine. That's fine. I think that there is a certain beauty to the SMP that a lot of people didn't realize, in that there were multiple types of content that could be made on the server, right? There was like the building on stream content that Foolish did. There was the and I guess I did that a bit too, right? I would build things on stream and stuff like that. But there was also like the silly, goofy Tommy streams where Tommy's just doing bits the entire time. And there was also like, I don't know, like it was such a like interesting, it was such an interesting twist on the idea of Minecraft SMP content to me. The Rambo mining content, exactly. Like there was like so many types of content that can be made on a server for different types of people that have different skill sets and are interested in different types of things. And I think that's what made me, I like personally, I became like obsessed with the server. And like, that's why I have years of playtime on the server, was because I was genuinely obsessed with having the server and having it be something that could be successful for like everyone in their own way, and let everyone like do their own thing in a way that was going to show how talented they are, because everyone on the server was so talented, and is so talented. I say was as if they're not anymore, but like they are so talented, and they were so talented at the time. And I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I'm kind of sad about how it all ended. I think there was a lot of things that a lot of work had gone into that didn't get to happen. But at the same time, though, in that same breath, I 100% understand that, nothing lasts forever, right, duders? And it was time. Like it was kind of the time, right? Like, it had kind of dwindled down, and Foolish and I were there every day, and we would see people every other day, every 2 days, every 3 days, we'd see somebody else. But and it had just kind of ran its course, I think. Like it had ran its course, and that era of the Dream SMP was over. And I totally understand that. I totally get that. But it's still, I feel a special attachment to that server, I guess, that I feel like a lot of other people probably don't feel to it. One, because first of all, it brought me most of you beloved duders, or a lot of you duders. I don't want to say most, but a lot of you beloved duders. I found you through the Dream SMP and through just being myself on that server and having fun. And so it will always have like a special place in my heart because of that. And I don't know, it was just one of those things where that server was so unique in the fact that it wasn't like the other Minecraft SMPs out there, the other SMP content. It was just different, and it was different in such a like good and beautiful way, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm being kind of sappy, but yeah. Followed you in 2022 when you were building your decoy house in the Dream SMP. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just like so many wonderful things happened to me just because of that server. You guys have turned this into my life. Like, I've said this before on stream, but there was a long time like that I always thought, what I'm going to end up doing in my life is just being a software engineer, right? Because it's something that I'm good at, something that I do enjoy it. And I think I have just been blessed with the gifts to do that well. Like I think computer, if that makes sense. So I always thought that's what I was going to do. But the idea of being able to do this and to make content that is fun and like enjoyable for you guys is obviously, that's like my primary objective, but also to like make content that you can know, like, this is just going to be like a chill, safe place that I can just come chill. I can hang out and vibe, and I can enjoy the Minecraft. I can kind of get into the story of the Minecraft server, that kind of thing. That kind of story is just like, I don't know. I just feel like it's so unique. I feel like it's such a unique opportunity, and that's just what I want to do. I want to be able to do that. And that's what I want to do. And I don't know. I've kind of gone off on like a long tangent now, but I don't know. Welcome to the mind of Awesome, dude. These are my thoughts. Hope you have enjoyed. I don't know. TLDR, I really want to play survival Minecraft, SMP Minecraft. and do crazy projects again. And I don't know. There's a lot of people that always joke about how I was just like eternally on the server and stuff, which is totally true. And the thing was though is that a lot of the time I was on the DSMP was time spent not even streaming, right? Like it was time that I was. Here's the other thing about the DSMP. I was a huge believer that the things we did on the DSMP should be real, bro. It should be a survival Minecraft content, right? At the core, it should be survival Minecraft content. So like when we built the prison, I was like, let's build the prison, bro. Like, let's actually build the prison. Why would we not build the prison? And we kind of built the walls like one layer at a time. Bad was a huge help in me designing the prison. I would say I tweaked the design a lot towards the end. But like the pillars on the corners of the prison, that was originally Bad's idea. And that side of the SMP that you guys never saw, the part that was the side that was not done on stream and was just done off stream, like grinding for things, was actually the part of the server that I was like so in love with. Can I ask a question about the design of the prison? Yeah, sure. Go ahead. We're on the topic. You can ask about it. How long did it take you to make the prison? The prison's construction in its entirety, counting the designing of all the pieces, probably took about 3 months. The secret off-screen prison RP lol. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I'll never forget there was one stream that Dream and I did together. Okay, also something about the SMP that was just I had never personally had an experience in my life where I had never had an experience where I had like done like, I don't want to call it acting, but like I had never done stuff like that. I had never. Okay, let me just tell the story. So there was one prison stream that Dream and I did during the like Dream and Sam prison era in the role play, where at the end of the stream, Dream and I were both like being sad during the stream, and when I ended my stream, Dream and I are like, we were both legitimately crying. Like we were actually crying IRL because he and I both kind of like method act, I guess, or like method role play. I don't know. And we're both like, there were genuine tears like rolling down my face during it, like as we're doing it. And the thing is though, is that like when I watch those streams back, right? Obviously it's kind of cringe. Don't get me wrong. It's a little cringe, but it's not cringe in the fact that like we were like role playing in Minecraft or whatever. It's because the thing is that we're both like, I felt like we were both genuinely like having emotions because we were like both method acting at the same time. And so I don't know. It was just such a like incredible like thing. You know what I mean? Like it was such a like incredible feeling. And then to see y'all's reaction to that, like, and to see that by us doing that and like having that interaction where we're both like kind of method acting and we're both getting into it and like we're both like genuinely crying, right? To then see like the reaction from you guys where you guys are like sucked into like the characters and the story of that, and like you're locked in on it as well, and y'all are tweeting about it and y'all are like, oh my, I was so emotional. Like it was such a rewarding feeling. It was so rewarding to me to like feel that from you guys, to get that like that immediate feedback of like, as soon as the stream ends, I go on Twitter and you guys are going crazy on Twitter about it. And that kind of thing. It was such a like personally rewarding thing to feel like so verified in what you were doing. And I don't know. That's just something that I miss. The portal in the Nether, if you had broken it, wouldn't it keep someone forever trapped inside the prison? Not necessarily. There are some things to consider about that. Like if they were able to light the portal, they would be able to be free, obviously. Think about the Sam Bucket streams a lot. I think those are some of my favorites. Well, and that was the thing is, I wanted other people to be able to have that thing that I had with the prison and with Dream. I wanted people to be able to have that. And I think one of the coolest people that I got to see like achieve some crazy things with the Minecraft stuff on that server was Quackity. Whenever Quackity did his like lore streams and stuff. And I loved like working with Quackity on a lot of those to help him with some of those things. I loved that like whole thing. I really loved that. I don't know. I just loved that whole thing. I don't know. I'm very reminiscent about it. About such things, personally. Why did Warden Sam decide to kidnap Michael? That arc was cool. The whole thing with that arc was the idea that, one, like I was going to use it as leverage, but then my headcanon about that, this was never like official. But my headcanon about that was that Awesome Dude was like more of he was kind of a good guy, right? Like he wanted good things for everyone. And that was kind of part of like the core basis of my character is I wanted him to be like a good guy who wanted good things for the server and for everyone on the server. And my headcanon about the whole thing was that Awesome Dude found Michael trapped in the wall where he had been left by Arid or whatever. And Awesome Dude felt sorry for him. My headcanon was always that he felt bad for Michael. And so when he stole Michael, he had no intention of doing anything bad to Michael. Once he took Michael, he had no intention of doing anything bad. And that's why in the lore stream I made sure to show that like that clip of myself rowing with Michael in the boat through the thing and like with the peaceful like blissful music in the background. That was like the whole reason why I did that. Was just because I wanted that to kind of be in there. And that was always kind of my headcanon about the whole thing, was that because I think that at the time when my character found Michael, and I think that my character was feeling the same thing. My character was trapped in the prison with Dream, just as Dream was trapped in the prison with him. And so when my character found Michael trapped in the wall there, that was going to be his life, right? Was being trapped in little things so that nothing bad ever happened to him, never being free. And that was just, that was my headcanon. But killing Rambo, that wasn't a good guy character, really. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that there were certain things that, like, my character did that are definitely very morally gray. Like, for example, killing Rambo. I think that was something that my character did. Obviously, that wasn't like a good thing that my character did. But I think it was I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. I think it was kind of a morally gray thing that my character did, which I think that's where the true beauty of the character came in, was that the Warden Sam was torn between being a good guy and doing what he thought was right. And it allowed him to be very morally gray. And I intentionally tried to keep him very morally gray all throughout the server. And it also, of course, allowed for like a decent amount of flexibility with the writing of the character, which was obviously very nice for me. But I think it was something that was justifiable to some people while not being justifiable to others, is a good way to describe it, which is what makes a delicious, beautiful, morally gray character. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that I don't think it's as true today, but there are a lot of people, whenever the DSMP was super active still, that they like personally did not like me, like as an individual. They didn't like me because of my character on the server. And there were a lot of people on the server who were very concerned about me and these people not liking me because of my character. And I was always of the opinion, though, that I did not care. I was willing to have people not even like me IRL if it would allow us to have characters that were so like morally gray. Wait, actually, oh yeah, no, actually, there were actually people that like really did not like me because of my DSMP character. There were people that said some pretty terrible things to me on Twitter. But that was just the consequence of being the morally gray character that I wanted to be. And when I realized how much people were like getting into the idea of not liking my character, the things that he did, that's when I knew that we could really take the story to it could go to an even crazier level, right? Of like, you know, we can write the character to be even crazier, right? And to really build this like dichotomy of viewership where there's people that like him, people that don't like him, and I really leaned into it a lot, and I loved that whole section of the character. Although people didn't like it, there were a lot of people on the server that were very concerned for me. They were like, Sam, like maybe you should be the good guy for like the rest of the time and that kind of thing. I don't know. It was a very fulfilling time, the DSMP for me personally. It was a very personally fulfilling time. Too many good guy characters, and for what? That's what I'm saying. The problem is, if everyone's a good guy, right? Why is there any point to be the good guy? Right? That was always my thing. But yeah, so anyways, I would love to do another Minecraft SMP. I'm not saying it needs to be like kind of lore focused, like the Dream SMP kind of became. Obviously, you know, I don't care either way. I think that part of the beauty of the Dream SMP, right? Okay, this is crazy thoughts of Sam right now, right? I think that what made it so cool was the fact that so much of the lore was completely not scripted and like completely just happened. Like there are so many things in the lore of the Dream SMP that were just interactions between the actual people on their streams that turned into like the lore. And I think if I was to do like quote unquote lore on a Minecraft server again, I would want it to be lore that kind of generated through that method of like you being on the server creates lore for you as an individual. And the other thing about the unscripted portions is that, obviously, don't get me wrong, the scripted parts allowed for us to do like some much crazier productions, right? Like some much crazier things, like a Prison Break stream. Like that would not have been possible without a little bit of scripting, a little bit of planning on our part. But I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I'm sure there's other creators on the server that didn't feel this way, but I think that a tiny little bit of the magic was kind of lost when we started really planning out like things months in advance. I think a little tiny bit of the magic was lost because those little random lore bits that would happen just weren't happening. But the scripting had become necessary as well. It was a very double-edged sword. I'm spilling so much tea. But it was a very double-edged sword because there was an issue that we couldn't move the story along, right? That was a big issue. We couldn't move the story along. And so the way to facilitate moving the story along was to plan out what was going to happen. And by doing so, we were able to say, okay, here is the objective that we're working towards at least. So we can work towards this objective and try and achieve that. And so it was a necessary kind of evil, I think. The idea, I don't even want to use the word evil, but it was a necessary thing, us like kind of hard planning out some of the sections of the lore. But it also opened up its own can of worms. And I think if I could go back, I would probably do it a little differently. At least personally, I would do it a little differently. Quackity is a very special individual. And he is insanely talented at that exact sort of thing. His lore streams were just, I mean, they were just incredible on the Dream SMP. And he was so meticulous about the filming. Quackity is the person that could do that kind of thing. Because Q was just so good at that. And his lore on the SMP was so just like next level. And it was really cool to get to like witness both sides of it. The part where he was doing like I would get to watch the stream and like the behind the scenes, I guess, a lot of the times for his lore. And it was so like just interesting. I joined because my friend said we were talking about the prison again. I'm dead. Well, when I began watching the Dream SMP, I hadn't come across a character from there that I liked, as I wasn't sure too much of it till you appeared and became one of my favorite characters and content creator. I thank you so much. You're the best, King. Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot, genuinely. There were a lot of insanely talented people on that server. Big Q loves his cinematics. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I did love the DSMP though. Still do. It has a special place in my heart. Always will, I think. I don't think I'll ever find a character as much as I loved his character Sam. Yeah. The thing is that I don't know if I could ever find that either. That's the thing, is like, I don't know if I could ever find that either. Genuinely, I don't know if I could. I had a whole plan for my redemption arc as well. I had so much stuff that I had like thought up in my mind. I want you to know there's still people who love character Sam and talk about him and make art. Wait, really? There's still character Sam art like made? Wait, how have I not seen? Please tell. Oh, like the redemption arc that I had planned for myself and stuff. There was lots of ideas that I had. I don't want to though. I don't want to talk about them. I want to leave the ending how I left it. I think your character is the most enjoyable because he was the most human out of all the rest. Like, not bad, not good, just human with human intentions. And that was my thing. When I started thinking about what I was going to do with my character, right? My mind went to the idea of, let's say I was genuinely placed like into this position, right? Like I was genuinely in this position in real life. How would my character act? And I really based my character off of that heavily, very heavily. He was influenced very heavily by me, which was pretty epic, I think, and turned it into something very cool. Check the Twitter hashtag. I do check the Twitter hashtag for Awesome Dude fan art occasionally. I do. I still think about Put Me in the Prison Sam and how convicted character Sam was about not putting Rambo in prison, only to turn around and do it anyway for paranoia reasons. Yeah, exactly. You see our tweets? I love seeing like what y'all are tweeting about. If I see stuff that has like Awesome Dude in it, sometimes I'll check it out. Just dive into character Sam's character. Yeah, I think I was very intentional with a lot of the things that I did. Dream's character is also incredibly incredible and complex for sure. For being perceived, I'm dead. Not gonna lie, I love Dream's character. I think a lot of people did. Why did Dreams end? I think it just kind of reached the end of its time. I think it just kind of reached the end of its time. I think that's part of what made the DSMP so cool to me, was how invested all of you were. Like, not necessarily just the duders, like in particular, but like the I don't know what word you would use. I think Techno had my favorite character because of his outcast underdog against the world feel. I agree. His character was really good. Can't believe we kept getting lore gatekept. The scrap lore with Dream and the Dream lore stream that had Sam Dream where the audio got corrupted or something. Oh yeah, that did happen. Yeah, we recorded that entire thing, bro. What do you think about character Sam's whole relationship with character Pong and how that ended and stuff, lol? I wish that we could have fleshed it out and like done more with it. I thought it was an interesting little section. Those were some of my favorite times on the server, just hanging out, like waking up before class and getting on the server with Ponk to be on stream with Ponk, because there weren't a lot of people on like at Ponk's time. So I would just get on. Like when I saw Ponk streaming and Ponk was alone, I would just try and hop on for like a little bit. Is it actually true you and Dream did private RPs? Like, were you method acting, lol? I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by all that, but yes. Anytime that you saw me being character Sam on the server, I was method acting. That's the only way I know how, bro. I don't know how to like portray something unless I'm like pretending to be them, bro. I don't know. I don't know how people could possibly do that.